Hello weirdos, welcome to Sable Flare. It's been a while. Thank you for still being here. I've been working on some other projects, but we are back because my new makeup releases folder has been building up and building up. So let's do this. Some of this will seem like the Wayback Machine because it's been a while, but I'm not going back to the beginning of the year. That's crazy. NBA Cosmetics came out with Moonlit Marsh. It's maybe a little moonlit, but not very marshy. I don't think. I don't know. I appreciate NBA putting in some deeper colors for once because they seem to be very mid-tone the majority of the time, with a couple lighter shades for shimmers. But this time, thankfully, they've put in a couple deeper matte shades, and the colors scheme seems a little confused. It looks more like a daylit marsh, not really a moonlit marsh. Ensley Lorraine came out with Groovy Garden, and I've been ogling it heavily. Even with having more purple hair and not doing orange makeup quite so much, and even with not being a fan of these cooler tone greens, they're not my favorite. Even then, I've been ogling it probably too much given the price tag, but let's just say tempting. They've also got 3 lip products. I don't tend to cover other stuff in a collection unless I'm interested in it, and I'm usually not interested in loose pigments and extra singles because it's a lot of clutter to me. I don't quite understand, but whatever floats your boat. So at least with these 3 lip products, they're cute and on theme, and they've got 3 different formulas for the 3 different products, which is nice. I respect that. Let's move on. Glaminatrix did Pretty in Pastels. Do I seem like a pastels person? No. You know what, though? Respect to them because they did throw in some deeper, bolder shades. You need dimension. I just think you need dimension in a look. I don't want to be sort of a pasty pastel thing. This is a new to me brand, Kryptine Cosmetics. Not tried them. Their Burnt Forest palette. Can we call it the Forest palette? Because what about a burnt forest is enticing? I mean, it's a Chinese brand. Maybe this got lost in translation. Let's just call it the Forest palette. The mattes look nice, kind of standard foresty fare. And then on first glance, it's not that interesting, but if you watch video swatches of the shimmers, they're very pretty. So, despite the name, despite the kind of mattes, I'm gonna say tempting. This is another brand I haven't tried, Titanium Fox Cosmetics. They came out with 2 palettes in kind of rapid succession, but the first one is Poppy Storm, and I like the aesthetic. There are some fun colors in here at first glance. The color story is really interesting, and then on second glance, it's sort of oh, I don't like gray. Do I need another bright red? No. It's not quite making sense to me, or I don't know, maybe, but the shimmers would have to be extra exciting for the price tag. Then Titanium Fox Cosmetics came out with the Poppy Quiet palette, and this one is half tempting. There's some nice green and purple going on here, and other than that, I'm not too interested. It's a bit more lighter tones than I really like, but it looks cool. I'd say tempting enough. Kind of tempting. Okay. Unearthly Cosmetics came out with the Spring Magic palette, and on first glance, the color story is sort of a refreshing take on spring with some darker, bolder tones. However, on second glance, there's a whole row of kind of peachy pink. I don't know. And I'm not a super blue makeup person, so I'm going to say not tempting, but it looks nice. There's also a blush palette, which looks way too deep and bold for my skin tone, but the colors are very pretty for what that's worth. The highlighters look not interesting by Unearthly standards. I have some really, really interesting and dynamic highlighters from them, so pass. The Dandelion Cosmetics palette, Feeding Frenzy, looks super cute. I love greens. I don't often see a palette come out from them, but I mean, these swatches are nice. Yeah, I'm into it. It is tempting. Wicked Widow Beauty came out with a The Crow palette, which seems like a good IP fit for them. And then looking at the actual palette, like, I keep forgetting this is not Glamlight. Did anyone else have that issue? Like, are we sure this isn't Glamlight? I think they're just taking a page from the Glamlight book. I think this is their first collab in this flavor. So maybe that's kind of what's happening here, and we'll see something more uniquely them with future collaborations. And that's fine. Like, the color story is reasonable given the theme. During my The Crow era, that's my cat, I'm sorry. During my The Crow era, black and red was all I wanted, so this is perfect for that. Gray, for me, not so much, but I get it. It's in theme. I appreciate that there's a white in here, giving that just little range of color. Very nice. I don't understand what these taupe shades are doing in here. It's a monochromatic movie, so maybe they had a challenge trying to figure that out. Whatever, it's fine. It's just not tempting for me. DD Signature did the Ultimate Cappuccino palette. Their quality is nice generally. I don't think it's for me, and that's fine. Not tempting. I don't know how many palettes Clarity Cosmetics has come out with this year, but it's a lot. It's a lot, and we're only in June. So let's get through this. First, Clarity came out with the Euphoria palette, and this looks very mermaid, and that tracks because they like to do mermaid stuff quite often. Nice, bold color story, but also with a range going up to pastel or light. So if mermaid theme is up your alley, maybe you'll appreciate this. There are some really nice, deeper, bolder colors in this that I like. And I like that there's a range of color too, going up to light or pastel, just to make sure you can create a dynamic look. However, this is just not for me, so not tempting. Next, they did the Komodo palette. I'm not understanding this color story. Like, the Komodo dragon, right? I liked their Cobra palette, for what that's worth. This color story, I don't understand, but it's cute, just not tempting. Next, they did Oasis. It's a monochromatic teal palette. I like teal, but I don't need a monochromatic teal palette, so not tempting. Next, Clarity did the Forbidden Love palette. I don't quite understand this color story. It's just kind of pink and blue. Not tempting. Glamlight came out with the Fresh Prince palette. They've got their finger on the pulse. Like, I respect that. This is what the younger people want. It's happening. It's cute. The swatches are really nice. Not for me, not tempting. Lethal came out with the Mellow Grove palette. It's kind of soft and gardeny and doesn't really match the like kind of spooky moth. Cute, but not tempting for me. Electrum Cosmetics came out with the Midnight Moth palette. The theme is super cute and the color story is interesting. Now, I had their mermaid palette, and while the special shades were really nice and I depotted those, the rest of it was not. And the mattes were garbage. So unless somebody can tell me that they have upped their matte formula 110%, this is not tempting to me. However, their shimmers are really nice. So, and their matte colors, I mean, if the quality was good, I would be down because it's at least more curated and interesting looking than the Burnt Forest. It's that same 12 pan format. It's got a kind of similar feel, but this one's just way more interesting somehow. Not tempting because of the matte formula of Electrum Cosmetics, but tempting if they've improved. Lethal Cosmetics came out with a mega collection for Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it's cute, and it's like, oh, ColourPop, this is what you could have done. The liners and the makeup bag look really fun of the non-palette items. Otherwise, meh. But like the palettes are cute. I'm not so much into monochromatic blue and red, but I get the theme. Like, I get what they're doing. It's fine. Shocking no one. The Earth palette is the only one that's tempting to me. I appreciate that there's some, chartreuse, a kind of light olive, and a super, super dark green. Like, those. I'm all about that. The Kelly green, meh. Yeah. The brown, okay, I get it. It's the Earth palette, that's fine. But like, the makeup bag, the liners, and the Earth palette, tempting. The rest, not. Sinful Echoes came out with their second release, the Lotus Bloom palette. It is cute. It's kind of soft and cool tone and not tempting to me. I do appreciate the nice, deeper tones in here. They look really fun, and it's not tempting to me. Unearthly's High Temp collection is very red and very gold. Not surprising given the theme. It's cute, it's just not for me, so not tempting, but well done, and the artwork is really cute. Cosmic Brushes came out with 2 palettes. One is neutrals depending on who you are, and one is a half blue, half brown palette. Not tempting for me personally. However, the color stories are well curated as usual. The shimmers look fun, just not for me. And because they obviously had to one-up themselves this year, Clarity came out with 3 palettes in the mermaid theme. I mean, we had Euphoria, but that's okay. We needed 3 more mermaid-themed palettes. Obviously. One is very pastel, green and pink, no thank you. One looks more tempting to me. There's lots of teal. I feel like they missed the mark on this one. All the shimmers are kind of the same tone. There's just kind of lavender, there's not really purple, like, no, not really tempting. And the last one is pastel blue and purple. Not tempting. Fantasy Cosmetica came out with the Cradled in Ice palette. The artwork is really stunning, and the palette is kind of just blue and brown. I don't understand. Yeah, no, the artwork is amazing, and then the palette is boring. It's Belle Cosmetics did the Under the Full Moon palette, which is, again, blue and brown. No thank you, not tempting. The Nomad Cosmetics Ireland palette, it has a really long name and I don't care. At first glance was tempting to me because obviously greens, who am I? I don't feel like it's offering anything new. I have yet to try a Nomad palette because I feel like their color stories just miss the mark for me. Yeah, like, even when the theme is right up my alley and the artwork is super nice, the color story just doesn't hit for me, I guess, so not tempting. The DD Signature Sweet Aesthetics collection looks like the brightly colored birthday cake of your childhood dreams, and it's not tempting. It's an all matte palette with some colorful eyeshadow bases or liquid eyeshadow, I'm not sure. The packaging is like their eyeshadow base, but it's like pink and blue and orange. I don't know. Not tempting for me. That's it, weirdos. We did it. Thank you for sticking it out. That was a mega marathon of new makeup releases. Some of them not new anymore. Thanks for coming back to hang out. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.